Enoy Extreme Media UJ. Subscribe for all updates.
Strictly, the 11th Parliament must be rushing to do the thing. We can pass it today, send it to the President, say it, I disagree, take it back, and another Parliament will be here.
Honorable Jana, what is your suggestion then?
My suggestion was, let all the reports be laid today. We received. That's why when they were presenting both majority and minority, I didn't object. And then time be given for us now to interrogate. Because if I ask, can we all photocopy these minutes here? They are not on the iPad. We cannot. So that we are allowed, I go to the library, I look at it, I interrogate it. When I come here, I can now support the government position of moving from 150 to 250 with the knowledge that it's coming out of a study that has been done. Or I can reject the 500 by minority because I see they don't have a strong basis for it. So, Madam Speaker, I propose.
I have two questions now. I will have a question for Honorable Bua on suspension of rules, and then I will have a question on suspending this session. I will have a question on suspension of the House for the House to be able to accommodate the 3 days. Is that okay? Is that okay? No. Gerard has moved the motion. You're also going to move a motion, and I will put a question. Okay? I am putting a question subject to Rule 17 on suspension of rules, that Honorable Obua has moved a motion that we suspend Rule 14, Sub-Rule 214, Sub-Rule 14, and Sub-Rule 15 for the House to proceed with the tax bills. Those in favor say, and the contrary nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Odor. Honorable members, I wish I could advise you.
Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, I wish I could advise. We have the reports here. We have the minority reports here. You have the goodwill to debate on everything. The people who pay taxes are us. Me and Honorable Nandala, we own a petrol station together. So when we are talking about this thing, we are all business people. So we are mindful of the taxes out there. So let's discuss this and come to a middle ground, because it also affects us. It affects us. And we are looking at what effect it has on the population out there. So it is better that we discuss these things and complete it. Where we feel this has a tax burden on the population, we will not pass it as a House. I told you from a while ago on the issue of taxing for Pampers. You want us to stop producing? We will not allow it.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I would like to give assurance to this August House that we had an opportunity.
I am still giving an example. When I was asked about taxing on withdrawal of money, I said you don't even bring it to the House, because you cannot. That is double taxation. You cannot tax me when I'm going to withdraw my money. The bank is also taxing me a commitment fee, management fee. At the end of the day, you tax the bank. You tax the bank on the profits that they have made. Those are things. Yes, Chairman.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I was just reaffirming your comments by giving assurance to honorable colleagues and the entire August House that in engaging as a committee, within the committee we have diverse experience and knowledge of members. Even when we disagree on some of the issues, we engage. And that's why on the disagreed positions, a minority report is brought. And these are things that we can engage here. Like you've said, I would like to encourage our colleagues that these issues be debated here and we come to a common position. I beg to submit.
And as I was telling you, the report Honorable Masaba presented was a very good report. I remember last year, Honorable Katesh was even proposing what Honorable Karim is proposing today. Yes. Yes, Doctor.
Madam Speaker, I entirely agree with you. Actually, now that we've resolved the first point of suspending the Rule 214, and then you're allowing a free discussion, that helps to solve the problem. There are more other serious issues which my colleagues on the committee are aware of, which probably I shouldn't mention here. But if we are to go into that, even if we are to suspend the session and lay whatever is available, the other issues which are not resolved.
For your guidance, since one of the members is risking some issues that we don't know, we shall leave it to them. But Right Honourable Speaker, begging for your indulgence, I would like to bring to light the issue that touches that is clause 4 of the bill, that talks about amendment of the Principal Act to include VAT on software. Yeah, I have a huge passion for technology, and I know it's the only thing that will liberate the African person. It's the only equalizer that we have, the window of equalizer for unemployed, young, innovative people. You might laugh about it, but it's given an edge to emerging economies. Right Honourable Speaker, we were here last year, and I warned about the same thing, that URA was going into chartered waters where the achievement would be zero. It's back. Because things to do with technology do not lie. They are based on data. Right Honourable Speaker, without software infrastructure, there is no progression in innovative technology that you can get. The President, in his State of the Nation address recently, the past year, but also in his campaign manifesto, he talked about ICT as one of the backbones of developing the economy, but to also integrate the young, innovative people, but also transform society. We've spent a lot of money on digital transformation, but here we are now trying to promote the very same thing that destroys the fabric of digital transformation. Right Honourable Speaker, this as a gadget is hardware. Without software, it's useless. Without software, this gadget is useless. But let's look at the simple things that we use. If a certificate of financial implication was issued as regards this section, because I want to make it as simple as possible for everyone to understand, who is the biggest consumer of software transformational updates in this economy? It's the payment systems that we are using. For example, the government payment system, the one we use, is called the what? IFMIS. The moment you put 17% on all its software that is imported, we will have to come back here and appropriate 17% above the cost of what it's being used to run. At the end of the day, who is going to pay for it? It's the taxpayer again. All the contracts that you have predated to this when you pass it, will have to have a revisional clause where you must revise. I can give you a simple thing. We have what we use here in technology is called the audiovisual technology. It's not from us. The software to keep this secure and have everything securely protected by the cloud so that your passwords in Parliament are not broken into through the software. It's something that is not developed here. It's something that is imported. That would mean any software provider that has a pre-existing contract with Parliament will have to come back to Parliament and we sign additional fees and revise this contract, and it will have a financial implication on all of us. But what am I trying to say, Right Honourable Speaker? That is as regards the government. Do we need to amend this section to have double taxation that you've been talking about?
Which section is that?
Section 28 of the bill.
That's why I was advising you.
Pardon?
That's why I was advising the House. And let's go clause by clause.
No, this is the clause. You're talking of the clause.
Exactly. Let's go to committee stage so that we are discussing a clause one by one for us to understand.
Right Honourable Speaker, first hear from me. At reporting stage is where you give a duly and full explanation.
Yeah.
At committee stage, you either agree to give away and take, or amend, or drop what is existing. But first I have to convince the members of the House that what we are doing is detrimental, because the report clearly says that they support. So I must oppose at reporting stage, then give my justification at the committee stage.
Honorable Medi will give you to give all your justifications and amendments if it deems fit.
Right Honourable Speaker, my proposal is we leave the status as is, and it
Yes.
may be treated by...
The Honourable, thank you for... Right Honourable, the matter that Honourable Nsereko, the Ayatollah, the landlord, the outgoing landlord of Kampala Central, is giving us...
And Team 115.
Is giving very useful information, but procedurally, as you've guided, this information, I wonder what kind of arguments he would make when we are at the committee stage. Will he be repeating himself? I'm raising a procedural matter. This is not a matter of Kira.
This is a procedural matter. You mean even up to now when you're leaving, you don't know the difference? Okay, you
Right.
understand, you see.
Which order you
You continue.
And I know that Honorable Ssemuju loves me so much, but I will miss you, for the record. I will miss you in this house, and you will miss me.
A person who will be mostly missed is him for procedure. But on legislation, the person who will be missed will be Honorable Jonah.
Yes. So, Right Honorable, my point of procedure is that, which you've already guided, and I want to plead with my honorable colleague to accept, that at this stage, this is a general debate about the principles of the legislation. Now, if you're going to specific on the clauses, we can only do that successfully when we are at the committee stage. And I think let's go by the wise guidance of the Speaker so that we move. And yes.
Honourable members, do you agree with that? Jonah, I want you to debate on the clauses.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Formally, now I notify you I will no longer move the motion for adjournment, having read carefully that the vote may not be in my favor. At the declaration level of the results, given the interest of the Right Honourable, Madam Speaker, I now want to debate on principle. First, there were two concerns about VAT in the country raised by the traders. The first was the threshold, which has been dealt with in the proposal from 150 to 250. They may have other arguments. We have heard that the proposal was to go to 500. The second concern was the rate itself, because we know in some countries, including within East Africa, some VAT rates are as low as 16%. So even 8, some, but I know of, at least I can speak authoritatively of ones I know, about 16%. In the processing of this bill, we had expected either the government or the committee to address us on those concerns. What is their take on the rate, which has been argued? Remember 2 years ago when the issues of the traders downtown came, one of the proposals they made was that VAT has to be revised from 18 downwards. And we have not had any report regarding that matter. That would be my concern. The second concern is the justification for raising it from 150 million to 250. The committee and the minister premises their argument that in 2015 was the last time that the VAT was raised. I have done simple calculations. You have not moved from 2015. Because in 2015, 150 million, if you compare to the rate, exchange rate, the dollar then, was around 3,098. And now we have about 3,700. It means for every 1 shilling of that 150 million, we now multiply by 600, which brings us to around 240. So I want to dismiss that it is not correct that you have actually improved or raised upward substantially. What you have done is just to equate the value of 150 million in 2015 to the current value, which is 250. That's why I will agree that perhaps the proposal by the minority of revising it way beyond 250 will have to suffice. The second point I would like to debate, Madam Speaker, is on the credit allowed by foreigners and Ugandan citizens under Clause 4.
Madam Chair, Clause 2 on IFRIS. I want to move an amendment that petrol stations are exempt from IFRIS. The justification: if you go to a petrol station, a motorbike person has come, he will take a liter. He pays 3,000 or 5,000. And the pumps which are there cannot issue an IFRIS. And if you tried to do it, then you will maybe combine at the end of the day and issue an IFRIS, maybe in the name of a pump attendant. A pump attendant will be looked for by URA that he has been trading in fuel. This is because even fuel is exempt from VAT, by the way. The only thing which is there is income tax, which is total at the end of the year. And also, there's already tax on every liter of what? Of fuel. Because as soon as you sell, the tax is paid there and then. And so, Mr. Minister, I want to ask your indulgence.
In petrol stations, can we look at the holistic transaction of the petrol stations? Because now the Honorable Nandala is talking about only the motorcycles, but you find in some petrol stations like Mandela's place, they have Javas, they have what? You get it? We have wheel balancing, wheel alignment. We are discussing. What do you think? Section 92. Look at it. 92 and read it. 516. Let me give you the new one. You are using an old one. Read it. 92. Go and read it on the microphone.
Madam Chair is saying A taxpayer may issue an e-invoice or e-receipt or employ an electronic physical device which shall be linked to a central invoicing and system or a device authenticated by the Uganda Revenue Authority. Yes, that one is the post. But on the pumps, there is nowhere you can put that device. And the URL should come and justify it.
I'm Chair, from Honorable Nandala.
You have actually answered yourself by the law.
The clarification I'm seeking, Madam Chair, Honorable Nandala, I thought the purpose of IFRIS is to track revenue and transaction. Regarding fuel, as of today, it is only one company importing fuel, that is UNOC. And anybody who purchases fuel, UNOC, you must pay cash. And URA has record because UNOC will not give you fuel on credit. And that record is picked by URA. And it can trace that petrol station A, company A, took this liter of fuel. And therefore, the inconvenience of creating IFRIS, we have so many young people in Honorable Batabukide constituency. In every center, they are selling fuel in bottles and so forth. And how will those one now be on? Madam Chair, I think the Minister of Finance need to drop this because UNOC and URA picks record of every OMC fuel traders in this country, and the taxes are paid instantly.
Honorable, do you want it to remain as it is in the bill? Because it says this section shall not apply to a designated person under subsection 2, where the designated person pays taxable supplies and is issued with an e-voice or e-receipt in accordance with the section 92 of the Tax Procedure Code Act. So what do you want?
Madam Chair, what Honorable Kanya has raised is a very important thing. UNOC supplies a share of fuel. Share will supply, or both is a constraint. Fuel. Now,
what do you want? How do you want amendment to be?
What we're looking at that now at both is a constraint. This person is selling the fuel which has already been given an IFRIS. But for him to be able to be safe, before URA comes to penalize him with those big, he must also issue what? An IFRIS to the border. That's where the problem is. Otherwise, the track is very clear up to the both person. So what we're trying to do is that for that type of business, of both and whatever, that one should not be really subjected to IFRIS because he's even by the is already accounted for. To what? I don't know if you have understood. Yeah, I am aware Katesh is here. He also has a petrol station. He knows what I'm saying.
Yes, Honorable Katesh.
Right Honorable Speaker, Chair, I don't have a petrol station, but I think the major point that he's raising is that the supply chain of fuel is easily monitored and normal, and therefore the debate should be, do we necessarily need this amendment given that we have safeguards in terms of monitoring the supply chain of fuel to be able to enforce compliance? And given that there is no VAT on fuel, I think the Minister can look into the merits of this argument, and then we have a middle ground and move forward.
Actually, as it is, we don't have an amendment. No, what I'm saying, the amendment is not made. It is stayed as it was. Yes?
Chair, Honorable Nandala's argument is true, but I don't think it applies to this section, because this section is majorly looking at the large taxpayers, those who withhold 6%. So this is actually coming in to enable whoever is submitting on IFRIS, whoever is giving an IFRIS receipt, is not actually required to withhold 6% of that money. So it does not apply to this clause. So this clause stays as it is in the bill.
Madam Chair, if you bring a bill like this, and you are now bringing section 92, and it is open,
Honorable Chairman of BCU, it says it shall not apply to a designated person under section 2. And that's what Honorable Karim.
Chair, the view is if Honorable Nandala is a designated person and he withholds, of course, the 18% VAT if he's withholding 6%, but if Honorable Nandala issues an e-receipt, then he shall not withhold that 6% because the e-receipt already shows you are at the details of everything that he has submitted on the invoice.
Madam Chair, this one is not the contentious. The contentious issue is the station of both to issue e-receipt to a motorcycle. This is where the issue is. We're not the chain is well.
Honorable members, let's look at the amendment, and the shadow the other side has accepted that it does not apply. So Masaba, you're in agreement that we maintain as it was.
Chair, the clause should be maintained. This is actually preventing people from being required now to withhold other people's money because already the IFRIS receipt already shows.
I put a question that clause 2 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. Honorable Nandala, have you seen, even when you go, you're not going to be missed. Honorable Masaba has come into.
No. You definitely the world
Very dangerous.
The world is going to use my head. No problem. Even he knows that the world wants my head. Madam Chair, what I'm trying to say, I am not deleting this clause. I am maintaining it, but adding on that where a pump. This is what I'm saying. There's no need an IFRIS at a pump. That's what I'm trying to say. I agree with this.
That is operational. That is operational.
You are able to come for you.
No. That's operational. That's operational. Me and you, we own petrol stations. Clause 3.
Clause 3.
Clause 3. No amendment.
Clause 3, the committee is proposing something different, and for us, in our minority report,
committee is saying no amendment.
Oh, for us, we are proposing, instead of the 250, we are proposing 500.
Abalungi abatuuliriza era abatulaba olunaku olwaleero tuchaddeko ewa Sheikh Asiraf Dembe.
Sebo sanyise okubalaba amannya agange Nsereko Asiraf Dembe akola ku bizibu by'enjawulo. Omuntu singa aba alina ebirwadde musomereddwa tumuwa amazzi ga lukuya nga bw'obadde ogalaba tugenda abantu ku kyoto ne twokya emizimu emibi egibabaamu n'okulomba edduwa. Abantu singa abeera ng'ali wano atuuse sobola okumulombera edduwa ne waba atatuuse nga mpadde amannya ge naye ng'ali wala neetaaze enamba yange yeno eri 0707763711. Namwe bannyinaffe abali ebweru oyagala okuba nti oyagala okulombera ku dduwa ng'olina ebizibu visa zibuze amaka gakolongotana sente zikola zimpita mu ngalo ojja kumpeereza ekifaananyi kyo n'amannya go ebyo byokka bijja kummala nja kulombera edduwa ojja kutereera. Olunaku olusembayo mu mwezi mba n'edduwa eyawamu ffenna n'abalwadde bange abakadde n'abapya. Salaamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.